Greetings everybody, my name is Tommy the Keyblade Master and welcome to my channel. Now this might surprise some people, but I am not a big fan of the original Metroid. Yeah, start booing at me because I claim to be an old school gamer and I despise the original Metroid, and I know what people are going to say. But Tommy, don't you know that this game came out? What it did to the industry? It created a non-linear action game. It was a game ahead of its time. And I would say, yeah, that's the problem. There is no map feature. There are no backgrounds. The stage designs are so extremely basic and repetitive that it's hard to tell them apart or to even navigate this maze. The fact that you needed a Nintendo Power subscription in order to beat this game tells you about its many flaws. So no, I am not a big fan of the original Metroid. That said, some of the sequels that don't have these problems I love. I love Super Metroid, and Metroid Prime deserves to go on the best game for the Nintendo GameCube list. It's that good. So I was overjoyed when Nintendo decided to remake the original Metroid on the Game Boy Advance and fix a lot of these problems up. So how is Metroid Zero Mission, and how is it on the Virtual Console? Is it worth the money to purchase it if you own the Wii U? Well, let's take a look and find out. Well, there is a ton of backstory to the Metroid franchise. If you're a huge nerd, it doesn't really apply to this game. Basically, what this game is about in the backstory is some space pirates manage to capture some super weapons called Metroids, which can destroy an entire civilized planet. They plan on breeding these creatures to use as weapons. The Space Federation has called upon the mysterious Samus Aran to go and wipe these creatures out. Now, the story in Zero Mission is a little bit more elaborate than the original NES version. In fact, the original NES version never really said she was a woman. In fact, they said his identity has never been told. It comes at you straight at the beginning that we are dealing with a female character. In this one, in fact, in the middle of the game, she takes off her suit. So that whole aspect is gone in this one. But even with that being the case, you have some excellent looking cutscenes and these comic style visuals whenever you face a boss or a major story element happens. They're not too long, the story does not bog down the game at all, and there is rarely any text on the screen to explain. So for the most part, the story is really lean and the game focuses on the action, which is where it should be in a game like this. Moving on to the gameplay, Metroid Zero Mission is an action platformer that tries to be non-linear, and I'll get more onto what I mean by that later. But anyways, you start off as this bare basic superhero who only has a crappy laser to really shoot and defend herself with. But along the way, you will grab things that will power you up. You'll get a long shot and then a charge shot. You'll also have other power-ups like the Varia suit, which gives you more protection. And of course, the screw attack that lets you do a killer spin move. It just makes the game interesting how you start off as such a weak character and you can build her into a strong character just by grabbing these power-ups. There's some minimal puzzle solving too in this game, and for the most part, they're pretty good. Usually you have to go back to an area with the right type of item in order to access that area or defeat an enemy that's in that area in order to proceed. For the most part, they're pretty clever. And the bosses not only look impressive, but they're also really hard to defeat. The Mother Brain puts up a really big fight at the end of the game. She's no longer the pushover that she was in the original NES version, or the Super Nintendo for that matter, despite how cool she looked in that game. So she actually puts up a fight here, as do the rest of the bosses, and they're a lot of fun to beat. There's one more really cool area in this game that I need to mention. Unfortunately, my recorder kinda just clicked off while I was recording this game. I didn't realize that it had clicked off when I entered this area, that it only captured about a half a minute before doing it. Occasionally, my video capture software does that, and it really sucks when I don't catch it. especially in this instance, but there's an area in the game where Samus will lose her suit. Right after you beat the Mother Brain, in fact, they added this area on, and without her suit, Samus will have to storm this alien mothership and find a way to get her power suit back. And it's actually pretty fun. After you powered her up, you now go back to being really weak and having to use stealth. Samus can stun enemies, and that's it until she finds a way to get a better power suit. And when you do get that better power suit, you all of a sudden become an even more powerful badass than you were earlier in the game. So it's a really fun area. I like the idea. It's just a shame that my video capture software decided to shut off before I could capture it. So, sorry, all I got was the opening few minutes with where she explains what she's about to do next. I wish I had more. Also, as another bonus, I should add that this game also comes with the original Metroid after you beat the whole game. The original Metroid unlocks. They kept this on the Virtual Console version, folks. That surprised me. So, for $3 more, you not only get a superior version of the original Metroid, but you'll also get the original Metroid 2 as a freebie. If you don't mind that, it's going to be scaled down a little bit because it was originally made for the Game Boy Advance. Although it might not look really great when you blow it up on a huge HD TV, Metroid Zero Mission has some really great graphics for the Game Boy Advance. They have this kind of comic book look to them, and it makes the game stand out. The backgrounds are great, the areas are great, they all really stand out from each other, they all really pop, and each area feels differently, which, if you remember, was my main complaint about the original Metroid, was each area kind of felt the same and you could easily get lost. You won't get lost here. That is one of my big complaints too, that the game does do some handholding, because the map feature in this area will come with guides that you will have to unlock as you go throughout the game, but this is a small complaint as well. Overall, the graphics are great, just like the gameplay. The music in this game is just awesome. It's haunting, it fits each area, and most of it's been remixed from the NES and remixed quite well. Overall, I just enjoyed the sound of this game and the sound effects. Take a quick listen. Alright, I give Metroid Zero Mission for the GBA and the Wii U Virtual Console a 4.5 out of 5. It's a little bit on the short side, and it does do a lot of hand-holding. But other than that, it's a really fun action game. I've found myself playing through this game many times when it was on the GBA, and I think I will probably play it quite a few times even on the Wii U. And it has the great bonus of having the original Metroid packaged in with it. So it's definitely worth a pickup on the Virtual Console if you're looking for a really fun action platforming game. And if you don't mind that it does have that GBA resolution, it still looks really great. Anyways, this is Tommy the Keyblade Master signing out, but before I do, I would ask you to click on that subscribe button. I do reviews like this, I do editorials and other things on my channel, and I would love to have you as a member of my community. Anyways, I'm signing out. You guys have a great day.